you want to run a successful business, then metrics are everything. And in a physical product business, one of the crucial metrics to be aware of is return on investment. And in this video, we're going to discuss just how crucial it is, how to calculate it, and more importantly, how to improve it. Welcome back to the channel. If you are here for the first time, then an extra special warm welcome for you today. We're discussing ROI, return on investment. And I truly believe one of the great returns you can get is on the investment of your time. And I really believe that when you invest your time on this channel, it's going to give you a great return. So why not subscribe today to secure that ROI as we release videos just like this all the time. That'll be really helpful for you in building a business that creates an impact and creates freedom in your life. So in the business world, profit margins are discussed ad infinitum. We talk 30%, 40%. What's the holy grail at the moment based on different data? We discuss what works, what doesn't, what's okay and what's not. And we talk so much about profit for a reason. Profit is what makes a business's world go round. With profit, we can pay our staff and build our team. With profit, we can generate the freedom that we started this whole business route for. With profit, we can start new initiatives, test new projects. Profit is absolutely essential. But what's also essential is what I like to call profit's sister metric, return on investment. Now, in my humble opinion, return on investment is just as an important metric to look at when doing Amazon product research or product research for any business, really, just as important to look at return on investment as it is to look at profit margin. It's often overlooked in comparison, but today I'm going to show you just how crucial it is, what a significant effect it can have on your numbers and therefore the speed of your growth. Because when it comes to ROI, that's really what we're talking about. We're talking about the speed of growth in your business. The bigger return you can get on your initial investment determines the speed with which you can grow with every cycle of investment. To kind of explain this, I made a little spreadsheet for you and I'm going to show you what I mean. So the impact of ROI. We've got a few things here. Investment, this is the amount that you're going to be investing, which we'll go through in a moment. We've got return on investment, which is a percentage. And then we've got these numbers in green here, which are investment cycles, okay? These are the times that you're going to put back the money into the business. I got a lot of people saying to me, Ben, how soon can I start making X amount a month? How soon can I quit my job? How soon can I do this? And this is the video for you because this is going to show you what it really looks like. Not, quit your job in 3 months because just sell one product on Amazon and you can just, travel through Bali forever. No. Real work, real business, real investment. What you're going to have to do initially is you're going to have to invest some money, right? You're going to have to invest some money in stock. This is a physical product business when selling on Amazon, and you're going to have to invest some money up front, and you're going to put that amount, most of it, into inventory, right? Let's say you buy maybe 500 units of a product that you have identified as an opportunity. It's got some decent sales volume, competition's not too high. You can bring some value to that. You can meet the criteria of what I call the product research funnel, 6 specific criteria that you can kind of hit and make sure that you know that this product is going to be a winner, and you invest some money into that product. And then with that money, with that product that you sell through those 500 units, you obviously then are going to make some money, and hopefully you're going to make some profit. And with that return on your investment, the profit that you're going to get back on top of the money you spent on that product, you're actually then going to be able to reinvest that. Hopefully you're not going to be someone who starts seeing the money go up in the sales dashboard on Amazon and think that you can all of a sudden start taking a whole bunch of that money out. What you've got to realize, if you're going to run a real business that actually is healthy and profitable, is that you have to reinvest in that business in order for it to grow. You should really manage your finances by percentages, and when starting out, take as little out of the business as you possibly can so that you can grow your business faster. And that's what we're talking about in this video, is speed. And so the second investment cycle, let's just say, use this example here, that you had £1,000 first up, you would invest that, and in the first investment cycle, after that cycle, so what we're talking about with an investment cycle, we're talking about the turnaround of your product from payment to collection of the cash. As you can see here, I put some scenarios down in terms of speed that you might usually be looking at. So a typical turnaround, we'll look at this one in the middle here, after you've paid your final payment for your product, that you have seen the product, the supplier has made it, it's all ready for you, you've had it inspected, you confirm it's the quality that you need, and then what you're going to do is you're going to pay your final balance on that product. You're going to put your investment down into that product, and you're obviously committed at that point. From that point, what I've put down here is the budget around 60 days from that final payment to them actually going the day they are on sale at an Amazon warehouse or through your online website, wherever it may be. And so that period of time is going to be your shipping, it's going to be clearing customs, it's going to be getting delivered to Amazon. A lot of people say it's sort of 30 days if you're shipping by sea. Generally it tends to be more like 45 to 60. I've gone on the cautious side here just to be real, and so that's what that looks like. Of course, you can do it faster if you ship by air. Sometimes it could be slower if you encounter things like the coronavirus. And so what we're looking at here is obviously 60 days there, and then around 90 days to sell through the stock. You might order 500 units and you're selling 150 a month on average. It's going to take you around 90 days to sell through that stock. That's kind of the sweet spot that we tend to recommend you order for inventory purposes. And then I've added in here like a 30-day buffer. So that's going to give you a 6-month turnaround time, an investment cycle. So you put money into a product, get it produced, and it gets sent to Amazon, and you sell it through and you get that money in. That's one investment cycle. Hopefully, if you're still with me, hit that like button below just to let me know. And then the second investment cycle obviously is once you've taken that cash that you've made and then you've reinvested it into products in order to do that cycle again. So this time you might order 800 units, you might order 1,000 units and reinvest it. And then third, fourth, fifth, sixth, of course. Now this is, just a little warning, this is a very simplified process and idea. There are so many factors involved, like maxing out the demand of your product. You could order 10,000 units, but it might only still be selling 150 a month. So this only goes obviously so far, and it is just to give you an example, but just to clarify before I get some abusive comments. So number one, it's a very simplified process. Number two, your ROI won't always be the same. It will go up and down depending on your, if a product is new, you're gonna have to spend more on marketing. So you might not make any return on your first investment of stock. You might just make enough just to be able to reorder stock again. Thirdly, this is obviously a simplified timeline because an investment cycle, you might have to run out of stock before you have the money to pay for your next order, or you might use some of the money from the previous amount of stock to start this process a little bit earlier, so there's some overlap, right? There's so much room for nuance in this that I didn't want to cover every aspect. I just wanted to make a simplified process because the idea of this is to show you how important these metrics are, not necessarily every bump that you might face along the journey, right? That's what this channel's for, and our Facebook group is for, and so hopefully that's making a little bit more sense now. These are investment cycles here, and so obviously we're going to look at how the numbers make changes in this. Let's say, for instance, you've invested £1,000 and your ROI that you find on your product, your fidget spinner, your yoga mat, your essential oil air diffuser, is 100%. Return on investment is simply calculated by taking profit and dividing it by your investment and then times by 100. Let's take an example of our £20 product, and our cost is £4, right? Our cost for a complete landing cost, everything, shipping, product, taxes, is £4. Let's take that, and then let's take a profit of £4 as well. So this is our cost, or investment I should say, and then this is our profit. We're going to take our sum. Calculation for this is we want to take this one here and we want to divide it by this one here, and we want to add some brackets, and then we want to times it by 100, and then that's going to give us the figure, which is 100. And now, of course, if you wanted it to be all nice and neat, you'd make this a percentage. This is our ROI here, and so it's 100. Whereas if we change our cost investment, we're still £4, but we change our profit, somehow we managed to get it up to £6. It's 150% ROI. £8, 200% ROI. Okay, so you see there is profit divided by investment times 100 gives you your ROI percentage. Now, of course, you can do something to calculate this yourself. Well, there's a couple of other ways you can calculate this. You can use the Helium 10 Chrome extension, which I highly recommend. It's got this thing here called the profitability calculator. Click on that and say I'm on some Lego here. And you can change all of these numbers in here, obviously, but then it provides you with the ROI down here. So you see this one, 116%. So on our example, good, not the best, but I would still be happy with this, pretty decent. And then you can see that there would be some changes that you could make to this. So say if you got the manufacturing down and you've got the freight cost down, you should be able to get it to £100 per cubic meter, really, if you're using a good freight forwarder. See how just a couple of little changes there changes the ROI to 170%. More on those changes we can make in a moment. That's one way to do it. Or another way is through the profitability calculator that you get if you sign up to the Brand Builder Bootcamp, which I'll show you how to do in a moment. But this calculates all of your expenditure, all of your metrics for you, and it includes a return on investment figure here, which is really, really key. It includes expenses that a lot of these ones don't, and it also includes pre and post VAT registration if you are selling in Europe. Let's take the essential oil air diffuser as an example. Typically they would sell for around £20, and typically you might look to source them from Alibaba and get your landed costs, so all in, so your product, your shipping, your import taxes, all of those expenses for say £4, around $5 US, and then selling at £20. Let's say all of your costs initially, because you are doing a lot of marketing, doing a lot of advertising, it's a new listing that isn't converting as well because you need reviews and you need to improve things, that you're only making £4 profit. You're only doing 20% profit margin on that product, right? So that means that you are, for every £4 you're investing, you're getting £4 back. That's 100% ROI. Okay, and so what that's going to mean is that you're investing that £1,000 in however many units that is, 250 units, and that you're going to get £2,000 back in that first investment cycle. You're going to get your £4 cost back, and you're going to get your £4 per unit profit back, which is going to give you £2,000. You then go and take that £2,000 and say, hey, Mr. Supplier, I want to order 500 units of this product now, and therefore I'm going to give you £2,000, or that's going to be your landed cost expenditure, including shipping and taxes and everything. And then with that, you're going to be able to obviously buy however many units that is, 500 units, and then you're going to be able to then sell through those 500 units, which you're going to have spent £2,000 on, but you're also going to make £2,000 on, so it's going to give you a return on investment, right? And so that's going to give you this 4,000. And every time this process in this example would repeat, you would then reinvest all that, and the next cycle you'd make 8,000, reinvest all that, the next cycle you'd make 16,000. Now again, of course, like I noted, the demand is going to cap this somewhere, because you can't sell unlimited units of a product. You can of course expand to different marketplaces, and you can do a whole bunch of stuff to keep this ball rolling as long as you can, but there is going to get to a point where you're going to hit a level of demand that just kind of tapers out, and you're going to hopefully then just sell a consistent amount of a product each month. And then that's of course where you can either begin to consistently take some money out because it's reliable and predictable, or you can take some of that product's profits and invest it in another product and launch out from there, or of course a combination of the two. And so what I wanted you to see just quickly in this video before we move on to how to improve your return on investment calculation is the difference it makes, right? So with just a £1,000 investment over this 6 investment cycles, what we're looking at, if we were to increase this to 150%, you see how big of a difference it makes over these 6 investment cycles. And as you see, these scenarios here, I've put the timelines in. So a fast turnaround, so 4 months total from putting the money down to getting that money back, which is quick, and you shouldn't expect to do because that's a bit unrealistic. But if you got everything right, if you did air shipping and you sold your product through like really quick, then that's kind of a short turnaround. And what this scenario in terms of 6 investment cycles represents then is 2 years. And the typical is 3 years, and the slow turnarounds, it takes like 5 months to sell through this product. Then this investment cycle is going to take you 4 years. So that's what that represents, right? So it's 2, 3, 4 years. And again, not an exact time frame, but just to give you a bit of an idea. But you see how when going from 100%, what would be in a typical turnaround time would be a 3-year cycle. 3 years, you would take that £1,000, invest it, reinvest it, and in 3 years' time, you'd be looking at having around £64,000 of capital. But instead of generating 100% ROI, or looking for a product that's going to generate 100% ROI, you could actually use some tactics, use your skills to grow that to 150%. £244,000 in that same 3-year timeline. Nearly £200,000 in difference, a 4x change just in a small percentage. Now, of course, again, if we take that to 200%, again, that grows exponentially. What was £1,000 at the beginning of the journey in 3 years could be nearly £750,000. Now, don't send me some hate like Ben thinks you can turn £1,000 into £750,000 in 3 years. No, that's not what I'm saying. All the caveats before, you would max out the opportunity at some point here, but if you could continue to then invest that money into other products that would do the same kind of levels, then these numbers do compound quickly. Let's take one more quick example here of £5,000, and you see obviously first investment cycle at 100%, you're going to get £10,000 back. Second, 20, 40, and you see how it becomes £320,000. If we're using again this typical turnaround time of 3 years, that's £5,000 to £320,000 based on a 100% ROI, 6 month turnaround time, and continually reinvesting all of the money back into the business. That's the kind of capital that you would have sitting in the bank. If we change this though, I want you to see this, right? I want you to see this from 100% to 200%, which is quite a jump, by the way. And if you can find products that have a return on investment right off the bat of 200%, then you're doing really well. My experience is you're not going to find those products, you have to create them, but more on that in a moment. 200% ROI, you see what change that makes. It goes from 300,000 to over 3 million. £3 million from £5,000, a 10 times increase because you doubled your ROI. You see how this compounds. Because you make more in the first investment cycle, then you make more in the second investment cycle, exponentially more, but then you make more in the third, even more exponentially more than that, right? It grows, it's like compound interest. It just grows and grows and grows, and it's a beautiful thing. So when it comes to improving your return on investment, you've got 3 options as I see it. Number 1, you can reduce your product costs. You can negotiate hard with your manufacturer, try and get a reduce in the unit cost of your product. I'd recommend avoiding pushing too hard with manufacturers and only really pushing for discounts if you're going to increase your volume. And even then, don't drive too hard a bargain because they have a funny way of cutting corners just to make sure that these changes don't affect their bottom line too much. So do this to some extent, but don't go too crazy with it. And the second way to increase your ROI is to reduce your selling costs. Your selling costs are not necessarily a factor in the initial equation in terms of your product investment costs, but they of course are going to affect your profit level, which is then going to affect your ROI, because selling fees like referral fee on Amazon, a fulfillment fee on Amazon, the higher they are, the lower your profit is going to be, and then of course the lower your ROI number is going to be. So if you want to improve your ROI, you could reduce your selling costs by either maybe selling on your own website as well, diversifying your sales channels, or trying to adjust your product shape and size so that it fits in a lower fulfillment tier, and of course by mastering PPC and other advertising in order to improve those areas of spend in your business so the profit level goes up, and then of course then also your return on investment goes up. Now, whilst these are both methods I would recommend and definitely things to explore, they're obviously only going to move the needle so much. They're only going to move the needle by small percentage points. But what's going to really move the needle by the most amount possible is by method number 3, which of course is to increase your selling price. Once you've reduced your product cost, once you've reduced your selling costs, the only next step is to increase your selling price. Now, this is where the big shift is going to take place. The other areas, they're only going to provide you with marginal gains, but this one can cause a big swing in your business. And one of the key ways you can look to increase the selling price of your products over the long haul is by building a brand around your products. When you consistently create great products that target a narrow audience, you build brand affinity. And with this affinity comes the ability to charge a premium. Let's be honest, there's cheaper wireless earphones on the market than Apple's AirPods. Yet last year they grossed over $6 billion. There are way better looking cars on the planet than Jaguars. Yet last year Jaguar grossed over $30 billion. And there's a reason that Yeezys, the footwear brand, have grossed over $1 billion last year by selling sneakers or trainers that are hundreds of dollars per pair is called branding. And by building great products that target a narrow audience over time, developing the assets of your brand, your own website, traffic channels, communication channels, by doing all of those things as well as optimizing your Amazon presence, then you're going to give yourself the ability to grow that selling price over time, grow that brand affinity, grow that brand equity, and be able to increase your return on investment, which is going to lead to faster growth in your business so that you can achieve those goals you have quicker and easier. If you want to get started with building a brand, a great place to start is in our Brand Builder Bootcamp training. It's free and you can sign up in the first link in the description below. If you're just starting with product research, please stop and watch this video before you do anything else, because the contents of it are so important when it comes to product research. If you've liked the video, let me know by hitting that thumbs up button below. Leave any comments or questions you have down below. Be sure to subscribe if you're not already, and I will see you in the next one real soon.